Russia has said that its troops have shot down Ukrainian drones. Russian aerospace defense forces found several Ukrainian drones over the Black Sea. They were all reportedly destroyed by Russian air defense missiles. On the other hand, Ukraine has said that its forces repelled Russian attacks from various directions. Russia continues its offensive in Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia, among other regions. The head of Russia's Wagner group has backtracked on his threats to pull out forces from the Ukrainian city of Bakhmut. This comes after Russia promised to provide the arms needed to capture the city. The Wagner boss has said that his troops are starved of ammunition and suffered useless and unjustified losses. The battle to take over Bakhmut has been going on for months now. Representatives of the two warring sides in Sudan arrived in Saudi Arabia to hold negotiations. The talks are being brokered by Saudi Arabia and the United States. Both sides are willing to discuss a humanitarian truce, but won't put an end to the conflict. This comes at a time when several ceasefires have already been broken. As representatives discussed the truce, clashes continued in Sudan. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida met in Seoul. This is a landmark visit as Kishida is the first Japanese leader to visit South Korea in over a decade. The two countries aim to improve ties at a time when North Korea is ramping up its nuclear capabilities. Kishida said his heart aches for Koreans who suffered under Japanese colonialism. Arab foreign leaders have reached a unanimous decision to readmit Syria in the Arab League. This has ended more than a decade-long suspension. The Arab League Secretary General said that the reinstatement of Syria does not mean a normalization of ties with the country. He called it a sovereign decision for each country to make. Damascus was suspended from the League in 2011 over a brutal crackdown on protesters, which eventually turned into civil war. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan held a huge election rally in Istanbul 1 week before the country goes to polls. He called the opposition alliance pro-LGBT. Erdogan has been blamed for the economic crisis in Turkey. He has also been accused of a slow response on the devastating earthquakes that had hit the country in February. Istanbul's mayor, who is an opposition leader in Turkey, was met with stone pelting during an election rally. The security personnel opened umbrellas to protect the mayor from the stones. Anti-riot police was seen using water cannon vehicles to disperse the crowd. Istanbul's mayor was elected in 2019. He will become vice president if the opposition alliance wins the election scheduled for May 14th. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Scotland's First Minister Hamza Yusuf have agreed to strengthen bilateral ties. Sharif is in London after he attended the coronation ceremony of King Charles III. Sharif and Yusuf agreed to strengthen ties in various domains including trade, investment, education, water management, and solar technology. An SUV mowed down pedestrians near a homeless shelter in the US state of Texas. At least 7 people have been killed, while several have been injured. The driver has been arrested. He's been charged with reckless driving and could face additional charges. It's not clear if the driver crashed into the pedestrians intentionally or lost control of the vehicle. Former US President Donald Trump will not testify at a civil trial to challenge rape allegations. The allegations were leveled by an American journalist. She said that Trump raped her in the 1990s and later defamed her. Trump's attorney said that he waived his right to testify and opted not to present a defense in the case. Trump has called the rape allegations a ridiculous and disgusting story. Over 100 Venezuelan migrants who were stranded at the border between Chile and Peru have finally arrived in Venezuela. The migrants were stranded at Chile's northern border after being denied entry in Peru. The incident had sparked diplomatic tensions as Peru sent police and soldiers to the border to block the migrants. A fire broke out in a gold mine in a remote area of Peru. At least 27 people have been killed. It's believed that a short circuit caused the fire. 2 people have been rescued. The mine is operated by a small-scale mining firm. Peru is one of the world's top gold producers. A houseboat with around 30 passengers on board capsized in a coastal town of the Indian state of Kerala. Authorities say that the boat overturned because it was overcrowded. At least 20 people, including women and children, have been killed. New Zealand will invest more than $200 million to boost the salaries of defense personnel. The country will also upgrade defense force assets and infrastructure. New Zealand's defense force has been struggling with high levels of staff attrition. The country has been left with limited air surveillance capabilities. The president of Slovakia has picked the nation's central bank deputy governor to lead the government. This is after Slovakia's caretaker prime minister stepped down. This comes just months before Slovakia goes to polls. Slovakia is a member of the European Union and NATO. It has faced months of political uncertainty as the prime minister's coalition weakened. Winter weather has arrived early in Australia. Heavy snow has blanketed a national park in the country. Temperatures dropped below average in the Australian Capital Territory. Snow and hail were reported in the region of New South Wales.
I hope this gives you some comfort. I'm standing up with this place.
Wildfires continue to burn in Canada. Nearly 30,000 people have been evacuated from the province of Alberta. Officials say that more than 100 active wildfires are burning. 1/3 of them are out of control. 16 communities in Alberta are under a state of local emergency. Forest fires are burning in Russia's Ural Mountains. 4 people have been killed and many residents have been relocated to temporary shelters. This comes as authorities are trying to control the forest fires. Over 50 forest fires are burning in the region. Around 33,000 hectares of land is on fire. Vietnam has reported a record temperature of 44.1 degrees Celsius. Authorities have urged people to remain indoors during the hottest parts of the day. Weather in Vietnam varies from north to south. However, the whole country is now entering the hottest summer months. Officials are making sure that there's adequate water supply for domestic use. NASA has launched a cyclone monitoring satellite. The rocket was launched from Mahia in New Zealand. The satellite is the first to measure the formation and progression of tropical cyclones and hurricanes. The rocket lab will launch 2 additional satellites. Cryptocurrency exchange Binance has resumed Bitcoin withdrawals. This comes after the company halted withdrawals twice within the past 12 hours. The cryptocurrency exchange has said that a higher volume of pending transactions had led to congestion in the blockchain. This led it to pause the withdrawals earlier. The US markets regulator is investigating the conduct of First Republic Bank executives. The US Securities and Exchange Commission's probe comes right before the sale of the bank to financial bigwig JP Morgan. It is investigating whether members of the former executive team of First Republic were involved in insider trading. This comes after US Senator Elizabeth Warren accused the bank's executives of mismanagement. Chinese conglomerate Alibaba's logistic arm is aiming to raise up to $2 billion. The unit will do this through an initial public offering in Hong Kong. As per media reports, the IPO is likely to come as early as next year. In March, Alibaba had announced that it would split its businesses into 6 distinct units. It also said that it would seek an IPO for all the 6 units. US-based cosmetics maker Coty is planning to enter the Paris Stock Exchange. The move will strengthen its presence in Europe and attract new investors as well. Coty is the world's largest fragrance company. It's known for fragrances from brands like Hugo Boss, Gucci, and Burberry. Carmaker Volkswagen is set to dismiss all but one of its executive board members. Next week, it'll fire the board members at its software division, CARIAD. As per reports, the move comes as part of efforts by the company to solve its development problems. The CARIAD unit has exceeded its budget and failed to meet its goals. Meanwhile, Volkswagen has been sued by Russian carmaker Gaz. The Russian carmaker has filed a lawsuit worth $200 million. This is the third in a series of lawsuits that Gaz filed against Volkswagen. Gaz alleged that Volkswagen's move to exit the Russian market had put its interests at risk. Volkswagen is preparing to sell all its Russian assets. Retail giant Walmart has reportedly appointed Latrice Watkins as the chief merchandising officer of its US business. Watkins joined the company 24 years ago. Ever since, she has served in different roles in the company. This comes at a time when rising inflation has reduced consumer spending. This led Walmart to adopt a cautious stance on its business for 2023. Meta's African content moderators have carried out demonstrations outside the company's headquarters in Kenya. They are demanding their salaries for April. The moderators were hired through a third-party contractor, Sama. Sama had sent the moderators on compulsory leave in April after its contract with Meta expired. Now, Sama has asked the moderators to clear their dues with the company by May 11th. This means that the employees' contracts would cease to exist. This comes despite court orders barring Meta or Sama from laying off the employees. AI pioneer Geoffrey Hinton has warned that artificial intelligence is a quote-unquote more urgent threat than climate change. In an interview, he said, and I quote, "With climate change, it's very easy to recommend what you should do. For this, it's not at all clear what you should do." He has joined a plethora of others to express concerns over the possible threat posed to humanity by AI tools. He recently quit Google's AI team to warn about the dangers of the technology. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand is proposing to collect financial entity data on cyber incidents. The central bank wants to make it mandatory to report significant cyber incidents within 72 hours of detection. It would also require reports on all non-significant cyber incidents periodically. The central bank has said that the move will improve the bank's understanding of cyber resilience in the financial sector. Moving on to sports. In Sunday's IPL match, Sunrisers Hyderabad beat Rajasthan Royals by 4 wickets in a last ball thriller. The match was played at Jaipur Savai Mansingh Stadium. Hosts Rajasthan put up 214 on the board, with Josh Butler smashing 95 runs in just 59 balls. Hyderabad chased down the score and needed 5 runs on the last ball. Rajasthan's Sandeep Sharma picked up Abdul Samad's wicket on the final ball. However, the ball had to be replayed as it was ruled a no ball. Having gotten a second life, Hyderabad's Abdul Samad smashed a 6 to secure the win. Earlier on Sunday, the Gujarat Titans thrashed Lucknow Super Giants by 56 runs. The match was played at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad city. Gujarat opener Shubman Gill smashed an unbeaten knock of 94 runs. Gill's knock enabled his team to set a target of 228 runs. Lucknow were off to a steady start, with Quentin de Kock smashing 79 runs of 41 balls. However, wickets fell quickly and Lucknow were restricted to 171 runs in their 20 overs. In football, Arsenal beat Newcastle United 2-0 at St James's Park. Arsenal's Martin Odegaard scored in the 14th minute to give Arsenal a quick lead. An own goal from Newcastle's Fabian Schär secured the victory for Arsenal. The Gunners edged closer to the top of the Premier League, trailing Manchester City by only 1 point. In a gripping yet low-scoring match, West Ham downed Manchester United 1-0 at the London Stadium. West Ham's forward Syed Benrahma sneaked a goal past United's goalkeeper David De Gea. Spaniard De Gea dived and got a hand on the ball but failed to keep it from entering the net. After Sunday's loss, United dropped to 4th place in the Premier League, 1 point ahead of Liverpool. In the Copa del Rey final, Real Madrid beat Osasuna 2-1 to become champions. Madrid's Rodrigo scored twice in the 2nd and 70th minute to secure the win. Osasuna fought back as Lucas Toro scored in the 58th minute. Madrid will play in the Champions League next, where they'll be up against Manchester City. In the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich were made to work hard as they beat Bremen 2-1. Second-half goals from Serge Gnabry and Leroy Sané secured the win for Bayern. After the win, Bayern secured 4 points to put them to the top of the Bundesliga with 3 games left to play. Bayern are chasing a record-setting 11th Bundesliga title. Borussia Dortmund thrashed Wolfsburg 6-0 in the Bundesliga. Dortmund's Karim Adeyemi and Jude Bellingham scored twice in their thumping victory. After the win, Dortmund are now 1 point behind leaders Bayern with 3 games left to play. Dortmund are looking to prevent Bayern from winning the Bundesliga title for the 11th time in a row. In tennis, Carlos Alcaraz beat Jan-Lennard Struff 6-4, 3-6, 6-3 to win the Madrid Open. The young Spaniard enjoyed a dream start, breaking Struff's serve in the first game. Germany's Struff made an aggressive return in the second set. However, Alcaraz came back and won the third set convincingly. With the win under his belt, world number 2 Alcaraz successfully defended his Madrid title. More in the Madrid Open, Arnia Sabalenka beat Iga Świątek 6-3, 3-6, 6-3 to clinch the title. 25-year-old Sabalenka made an aggressive start to the match, making it difficult for Świątek to settle in. However, Świątek made a comeback in the second set, leveling the match. Sabalenka dug in for the final set and outmatched Świątek with some brilliant shots. With the Madrid title, Sabalenka avenged her defeat to Świątek in last month's Stuttgart final. In Formula 1, Max Verstappen won the Miami Grand Prix on Sunday. Verstappen was 9th on the starting grid and moved up to the 4th position in 10 laps. Verstappen's Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez finished 2nd in the race. Meanwhile, Aston Martin's Fernando Alonso finished 3rd, completing the podium. With the win in Miami, Verstappen extended his driver standings lead over 2nd-placed Perez by 14 points. The 2023 MTV Movie and TV Awards opted out of a live event in light of the Writers Guild of America strike. Instead, the show had pre-taped segments and film previews. Moreover, the winners sent their acceptance speeches via pre-recorded video messages. The writers in Hollywood have been on strike for over a week, demanding better compensation. Actor Jennifer Coolidge has extended her support to the Writers Guild of America strike. Coolidge defended the WGA strike while accepting her Comedic Genius honor at the MTV Movie and TV Awards. She sent a pre-recorded video as her acceptance speech. In the video, she had said that she stands side by side with her sisters and brothers from the WGA. The final season of the popular drama series Stranger Things is facing delays due to the ongoing WGA strike. The show's co-creators issued a statement that said it was not possible to start production amid the writers' strike. Writing on the 5th and final season began in August last year, but the production on the series has been halted for now. The newly anointed British King and Queen surprised fans of the music reality show American Idol. King Charles and Queen Camilla made a pre-recorded appearance on the show from Windsor Castle. The video began with show judges Katy Perry and Lionel Richie explaining their absence from the episode. The King and Queen are then seen to be walking into their video. Perry and Richie were in London to perform at the coronation concert. The 2023 Hot Docs International Documentary Festival concluded its 11-day run yesterday. The Best International Feature Film was awarded to Danish film The Mountains. The Best Short Doc went to Iranian film Mrs. Iran's Husband. In total, 214 films from 72 countries were screened at the 30th edition of the festival. The South Korean box office got its biggest weekend of the year, thanks to sci-fi film Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that raked in a whopping $10.3 million. The final installment of the Guardians trilogy played on more than 1,800 screens in the country. It dominated 46% of the overall market share. A biopic on late astronomer Carl Sagan is in the works. The film is titled Voyagers and is set in 1977. It brings to screen the real-life love story of Sagan and Emmy-winning documentary filmmaker Anne Druyan. Actors Andrew Garfield and Daisy Edgar Jones have been signed on for the lead roles. Singer Taylor Swift has announced her next album. It will be a re-recorded studio album titled Speak Now, Taylor's Version. The album was first released in the year 2010. It will now re-release on the 7th of July. The singer made the announcement during her Eras Tour concert in Nashville in the US. Rapper 50 Cent has announced dates for a global tour to celebrate 20 years of his debut album, Get Rich or Die Trying. The tour is titled the Final Lap Tour. It'll travel to North America and Europe. The North American leg of the tour will begin on the 21st of July in Utah, while the European leg will begin on the 28th of September in Amsterdam. Drama series SWAT has been cancelled after 6 seasons. However, the reason is not falling ratings. As per reports, the 2 studios co-producing the show could not reach a financial agreement. The season 6 finale will air on the 19th of May.